Hi, my name's Alyssa Hope Wagner, and I want to talk about one of my favorite pastors. He's passed away, Dr. David Yonggi Cho, and he had one of the biggest churches in the world in South Korea, and I read several of his books. But he has a really great testimony that's a good lesson for us. When he was 17 years old, he was dying of tuberculosis, and he was a Buddhist, and a young missionary's daughter, young daughter, would come and visit him and try to tell him about Jesus. And he just would say no, and he was very resistant. And one day she brought a Bible and he said he's not going to read it, but she started crying. And because she started crying, he said, okay, I'll read some of it. And of course, he read some of the New Testament, became a Christian, and he was healed of tuberculosis. And so then he went off to have one of the biggest churches in the world and reach millions for Christ. So you can compare his ministry to the ministry of this little girl, and her impact on helping to bring one person to salvation has far-reaching effects. And that's why I want to say you can't compare your acts of obedience to other people's acts of obedience, because only God knows the bigger picture. And what we do for God in this life does not end when we die. It continues until Jesus comes back. And so don't compare yourself and what God's called you to do. It might look humble, but you never know who you will reach. You can reach that one person who's going to reach millions. So I hope this encouraged you. My name is Alyssa Hope Wagner. You can find more encouragement in my books on Amazon. Be blessed.